I'm Dan Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Dan's Fishing Tales. As you can tell, we're inside again today. The ice is just about ready to go out because yesterday we had a record of 70 degrees, and the record before that was 60, so it really crushed it. And the ice was getting pretty bad anyway, so I'm staying off of it now. But what I'm going to talk to you about is the Neko rig and how to set it up and the worms that I'm going to be trying with it. And first off, what I've got is what I call my Neko kit right here. It is an edge box, Plano edge box that is what they call the Edge Flex. And the nice thing about that is you don't have to put any dividers in it at all. And I have not, because inside of here, as you can see, are all the different components that I've got to do the Neko rig, and we'll talk about them. First off, you've got what they call a worm tool right here. It's got some O-rings on it, which we're going to get to when we start rigging them up. And also, I've got some of these, which are the ShroomZ Nikon heads. They stick into the worm, which I'll be showing you, and these are put out by Z-Man. The other one that I'm going to be showing you is the ProX hook, the Neko ProX hook. I mean, this thing is made perfect for it. It's got a longer shank. You put it so that when the fish hits it, they won't be taking the whole thing. It's not a real short shanked hook. Like I said, it's a longer one. And there's a lot of benefits to this. And instead of me going into that, why don't we let Ron Stallings with ProX Hooks explain.
Hey everybody, this is Ron from ProX Hooks. Man, if you haven't tried ProX, you're missing out. This is the best hook made on the planet. I'll tell you the reason why. On the point, there's 4 grooves. Now these grooves reduce friction on the hook set. That means you get a faster penetration. But the grooves are not wider than the rest of the shank of the hook. What that means, you're going to make a smaller hole, and the micro barb is going to catch in the meat of that smaller hole, and you're going to retain the fish during the battle. It has a nano finish on there, so that increases the speed on penetration. Plus, it's a high-tempered hook. Very, very high-tempered, high carbon as well. You also have slight flex, very, very slight. So when you set the hook, it's going to go through, it's going to penetrate, and you're going to catch a lot more fish with this hook. The other thing is, every point on the ProX hook is 3 degrees above the line of plane. So instead of being in line with the point, it's up a little bit. Every pro out there opens up their hooks a little bit for a faster connection. Every pro does. Don't let them fool you. ProX is already coming out of the package, ready to fish. You have the nano finish on there, plus you have a no flash gray. So there's not going to be a lot of flash around it. The fish are going to hone in on it. They're going to like it. When you set the hook, you can count on positive hooks every time, and positive hook sets every time with ProX hooks.
Well, thanks, Ron, for allowing us to do that. And also what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the lures that I'm going to use with this, some of the plastic worms, because that's what it's made for. And I'll get this out of the way. There's 4 basic worms that I'm going to try, and anything like these will work. First off, we were talking about Z-Man. Okay, here's one right here. This is the 7-inch finesse worm that they have. And of course, with Z-Man, as you know, it's got that Elastex in it. So that's going to really help in these Neko rigs. You want something that's going to hold up pretty good, and that's why I've selected the different ones that I have. And as I said, that is the finesse worm. They call it a worm Z. Of course, everything they have, they put a Z on the back of it. This is a Bang Stick Z, and it's made similar to the QC Lure Worx meat stick, which I'm going to show you because that's another one I'm going to use. But the difference is instead of the regular tail, it's got these little doohickeys back here, and they kind of dance around, especially if you're going to be using this Neko rig, which you'll see why when I do it. And again, that's got the Elastex. As I said, another one that I'm going to be using, in fact, well, we'll go to this one right here, got it right here. It's a natural forage bait one. And they've also got a longer finesse worm, which I'll be using. But this finesse worm, I don't know why, it has always just produced fantastic. Using a 3/32 ounce usually, I'll go with an eighth sometimes, bee fishing H2O jig head, and just doing it this way. Well, with the Neko head, it's going to really dance down there, and we're going to be giving that a try. Like I said, that's the 4-inch natural forage bait R4 worm. And I usually use a black with blue flake or a June bug. And this one is the green pumpkin, which those are my three main colors anyway. Now, the other one that I already told you about, which is the QC Lure Worx one right here, that is the meat stick, and I'll show you that one. You'll see that it is quite similar to the other, except that it's got kind of a tapered tail back here, but that's going to work real good for a Neko rig. There's no doubt about it. And so what I'm going to do, and with that smaller worm, by the way, I'll use the smaller hooks because I've got size 2, 4, 1/0, and 2/0. Now this one just depends on how the fish are doing. I'll probably go with a, well, I'll say I'll probably go with a 2/0 to start with this, but I might start with a 1/0. I'm not going to go down to the 4s and the 2s. That's going to be for the smaller ones. In fact, the size 4, what I might use that for is another one that QC Lure Worx, and they make a thing that's about yay big, about 3 inches. It's called an enforcer. I might try that with the 4 hook and the smaller 1/12 ounce ShroomZ head. So anyway, why don't I get some of this open, and then I'll show you what we do to rig it. Well, I've got everything laid out now, and I did want to bring up to you too, on these ProX hooks, I told you I didn't have any partitions in there. And the nice thing about them is they've got a pack that is a resealable pack, so that you can just put your hooks in there and just seal them back up. You don't have them flying all over the place, and that works real well. And also I found out, because this is the first time I ever opened these ShroomZ heads, they have got a package inside of the other one, and it's also sealable. So, that'll work good too. And they have got, and I ought to bring this up, they've got some very, very strange sizes. The 1/20th ounce is a extremely small one. That's this one right here. You can see that's a little bitty thing. And that I might use on that 3-inch enforcer that I was talking about. Also, I'll use it on that 4-inch one along with this one, which is a 1/12 ounce right there. And then they go on up to it goes clear up to 1/6. I got to look at them because they are different. The 1/10 and the 1/6 are the heaviest. And what I did is I pulled out a 1/10, which is this one right here. And you'll notice that it has barbs on it. And they are sharp barbs. That is very, very good because they're a smaller type of a barb. And with them two like that, that's going to stick into that head. Otherwise, if you're just casting that out there, you could fly that head right out of there when you go to cast it. And you'll see why once I rig it up. And another thing too, I recommend using a spinning outfit with this. You can use the BFS system for the bait casting with the finesse style rod and reel, like I've got a Handing Magic Soul, and yeah, that'll work too. But I still like to have a stiff and a good backbone too to it. Even though the hook is exposed, and it does set the hook very, very well, you use something like a B&M fishing. It's actually a crappie rod. It's called a crappie cast. It's a Goodwin's Godwin crappie cast. Well, it's got enough backbone that it will set the hook. And there's another one I'm going to be using too that's called the Difference, and I'm not too sure about that one yet, so I'm not going to really recommend it until I use it for this style fishing and for some finger jigging. In fact, I'm even going to, which I have not done before, try finger jigging with this, with a Neko rig. That ought to put it along just great, and if I want a consistent type of a thing. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to rig it up. And the worm tool, like I told you, you take the worm, and this is a meat stick. This is a QC lure meat stick, and you put it down in like this. Now, you want it down maybe a third of the worm, having it right about here. So we'll put that down just like that, about right here. And then the O-rings, they're right here, and you roll those down, just like that. And then it's going to go right over where you should be wanting to have it. I'll try to show you here. There it goes. It popped right on. There's the O-ring right there on the worm. You might want some smaller size ones. There's smaller ones on here, but there's the majority of them I got are the bigger ones like that. And now you got this, just like that. Okay, we got a 1/0 hook out here, and you got to hook it so that it goes towards the tail. Don't hook it this way, because if the fish comes down on it, they're going to hit that shank. They're not going to get the hook. So you want it this way. Now, what you do is where you got that O-ring, you place the hook, and I put it into the worm. Now, some people just go underneath the O-ring, but I use it slightly like this so that it's part of the worm and the O-ring both, and now you've got it just like this. Now, you want the head weighted, so you take the weight that we had right here, the shroom head, you stick it into the middle of it. There, you want it right in the middle, like that, and then you push it in. Make sure that you're not pushing it back out. There. Now, there you go. Now you got the head right there, and you got the hook back here. Now, if you wanted, you could put it up here a little bit further. Just depends on where you want it. You don't want it right in the middle, and I've got it probably up just a little bit higher than what I want it. I want it right about here. But anyway, it shows you how you rig it. And as I said, that's a ProX hook. And Ron already told you about all the advantages with the 3-degree bend in it, and of course the longer shank. He didn't go into the Neko style, but with the longer shank like that, it's going to work real well. And as you can see, you got action from both ends, and this head is weighting it down like that, and it's just going right along. Anyway, that's the Neko rig. We're going to be doing some videos where we're actually going to be using this rig, and well, just stay tuned and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll know when we are doing that. And until next time, get out on the water and enjoy a great day of fishing.